Hi everyone, welcome to another lecture of JavaScript. In this lecture, we will learn how to use and what are the predefined JavaScript objects. So we've learned what objects are, and in this lesson, I'm gonna teach you and show you a few predefined objects that JavaScript already has built by default for you to use with methods and properties of their own. So I'm going to show you just a few examples. There are many objects you can use in JavaScript or predefined objects you can use. And if you want to check out all the objects that you can use in JavaScript or all the predefined objects that you can use in JavaScript, you can go to the description page and search for the list of objects. Or you can go to the end of the chapter and search for the guide of JavaScript objects and download. So we will look into the navigator and history objects of JavaScript. So to start showing you some navigator objects, let's type here navigator objects. The navigator object, it's part of the window object, and you can access its properties using window.navigator and then you type here the property. Okay, and you have a lot of properties you can use. I'm just going to show you one or two. You can also use only the like this navigator.property. And to understand this, we've been using, for example, the alert, which is a method from the window object. Okay, but usually in JavaScript, you don't need to put the window.alert. You just need to put alert, and you can save a little bit of code. Okay, so usually you don't use the window before the alert, but this would be the correct way because the alert method or the alert predefined method of JavaScript is part of the window object. Okay, and you already know, I think I told you already, window means the browser itself or the window of the browser. So window itself is an object from JavaScript, and then they have their own properties or methods. I'm going to show you one famous property of the window object, which is, let me type window alert. And let's type your browser is, and I type plus, and we type navigator dot and app name with capital N. Okay, let's save this. And let's run and see what happens. Okay, your browser is Netscape. Okay, so what happens here is that the property app name will return the name of the browser. What is interesting is that, as you saw, app name returns in Chrome, because I'm using Chrome, it returns Netscape. Let's check it out once more. There it is. Netscape. And why is that? Because the DOM and all the properties of the DOM in JavaScript were created originally by Netscape. And if you don't know, Netscape was a very famous browser in the 90s. And Netscape was one of the first browsers that competed against Internet Explorer. And they developed a lot of the things that we know today and a lot of properties you can use with the window object. So, and a lot of the browsers out there like Chrome and Firefox are using now the Netscape DOM pattern or system. Okay, so the properties are the same and it will always return Netscape, but not Internet Explorer. Internet Explorer will return you Microsoft Internet Explorer, and you can try it yourself if you have Internet Explorer. Let's now use a method. So this property is very useful when detecting what type of browser is the user using to open the page or open your website. And you can use this famous the if condition to detect what type of browser are you using. And if you are using Internet Explorer, you do something. If you're not using Internet Explorer, you do something else. So if, let's type here, for example, navigator.app name equals exactly to Microsoft Internet Explorer. And let's type welcome Internet Explorer users. Forgot to put here document dot write. And else. And here you can type document dot write you need Internet Explorer to run this script. Okay. We call this if usually the browser detection script, and we use this a lot when creating new web pages. So later on, as you're gonna see with HTML5 and CSS3, you have a lot of scripts and a lot of functions that don't work in Internet Explorer as they work with for Chrome or for Firefox. So we have to do this, and if the browser is Internet Explorer, do and run the script this way so it works. Otherwise, use the script this way. Okay, so let's continue, and now I'm going to show you how to use a method of the navigator object. Let's take this out. So I'm going to use now the Java enabled method, and basically this it's pretty similar as what we just did a few seconds ago with the detection of the browser or the type of browser you're using, but now this will detect if you have Java enabled on your browser or not. Now to do this, you just type if navigator dot and the property or the and the method is Java capital E enabled. Okay, parenthesis. And now we type here document write Java is enabled. And here else alert Java is not enabled on your browser. Okay, and save this, and let's run this and see what happens. Okay, Java is enabled at this point. If my Java was not enabled, it will show us the alert here. Okay. Okay, now let's go to the history object. One very cool property you can use is the history length, which will tell you how many pages you have in the history or have you visited with your current browser. So let's see what it has to tell me. So my browser has visited let's type Now history dot length. Okay, this is the property of the history object that will show you how many pages have you visited. And then let's type, you have, my browser has visited, and now pages. Okay, let's save this. Let's run it in Chrome, and there it is. It has only visited one page. Why? Because this one page is what I opened just right now. Okay, so let's see now a method of the history object. The back method will basically send you to the last page visited in the browser that you have on your history list. But because we don't have any history, it will return me an undefined page. Okay, it depends all in the history list that you have related to your browser. So this is how we use navigator object properties and methods and history object properties and methods. Okay, make sure you practice and go to and download the guide where you have all the methods and properties.